Hey, this is Stephanie Lord coming to you from Pro Gun Women, and I'm here tonight. And please excuse me, I'm trying to learn how to use this new microphone. It's wonderful, it was a gift, I appreciate it, but I'm trying to figure out how to use it without covering my entire face. It's a beautiful microphone, just trying to figure it out. But I'm here tonight with something super important. Tomorrow, at the House, on the federal level, they are going to be presenting a red flag bill. And this is HR 1236. And they're also going to do HR 1186, which is a nationwide ammo ban, as well as HR 2708, which is a lifetime firearm possession ban for misdemeanor crimes. Some really important stuff coming up. I need people to call the congressman as soon as possible and stay on top of this. So the first bill, which is HR 1186, is stating that, I apologize, I'm trying to look around this microphone at the same time, that you cannot have any more than 10 rounds of ammunition. So it says any magazine, drum, any type of feed, it cannot be more than 10 rounds. So that's HR 1186. And that was presented by looks like Theodore Deutsch, Democrat out of Florida. We also have HR 2708, which is any person that's been convicted of a misdemeanor hate crime now has a permanent ban of ever owning a gun. And I haven't read through that. It looks like, I'm hoping that at least it's a conviction, but who knows anymore. It seems like just simple accusations. And speaking of accusations, HR 1236, which is a red flag bill. Okay, so last night I had insomnia really bad, and for those of you that were following me, in the middle of the night I was going at it with a Republican who says that every red flag bill has got due process, and I am going to prove that there is no due process in any red flag bill. Okay, it's real simple. Due process. So, in the United States, due process is outlined by the 5th and the 14th Amendments of the Constitution. Okay. Each amendment contains a due process clause which prohibits the government from taking any action that would deprive a person of life, liberty, and property without a due process of law. All right. So what is due process? And this is where I'm arguing constantly, even with Republicans. Listen carefully to me, everybody. Due process is essentially guaranteeing that a party will receive a fundamentally fair, orderly, and just judicial proceeding. This means that if there is a belief that you have done a crime, there's an investigation, and you get your day in court, okay? You get day in court, you get to speak, you get to hire an attorney, you get to do whatever it takes to make your case. If you lose, then that would be the case where, okay, you were found to be a harm to yourself or others, so we're taking your guns. That is due process. Okay. Where the Republicans in Indiana and some even local Republicans are getting this all wrong is they believe that that they can go in and take your property, take your guns from you, and then because you get a court date later on, that is due process. That is not how this works. Due process guarantees that a party will receive a fundamentally fair, orderly, and just judicial proceeding before they take your property. I get a little wound up about this because people are like, well, it's okay. They're just going to take, they're going to take the guns for a little while, but you get them back. No, you don't get them back. I posted an article not so long ago that there's an attorney in California who deals with all the time. And it's $15,000 to $25,000 to get your guns back. And we're not talking about just getting your guns back. We're talking about you have to pay that to prove that you are innocent. So there is a presumption of guilt, even though the Supreme Court they've already dealt with this. And it is, you are presumed innocent. And then they have to prove you guilty, but not in this case. In this case, somebody tattles on you, and they come and take your guns, and then you get your day in court later. That is not due process. I get a little wound up because I'm so tired of talking about this, and I can't seem to make people understand that there is no due process in any red flag bill anywhere. The one that's being presented on the federal level, there's no due process. The one in Indiana is even worse. This is the one that Vice President Pence, which did not make me very happy, was around saying, wow, this is a great red flag bill because it has due process. There's no due process. There's none. As a matter of fact, somebody can make an accusation and they go to the police show up and they make the determination. They play judge and jury, and they determine whether to take your gun or not, with or without a warrant. It says right on there, on their act, that you can do without a warrant. They could pull somebody over, or somebody could say, hey, I think this person's a threat, or hey, I think this person's doing whatever, and they just show up, make the decision, take your guns. Then they have 48 hours that they have to go in, and they will tell the judge, hey, we took their guns. Go ahead and set the trial date. So again, no due process. Due process, I'm going to say this again. Due process means that you get a fundamentally fair, orderly, and just judicial proceeding before they take your stuff. Before is the key word. Before. Not after, but before. They don't get to come in and just take your stuff based on accusations. Again, I get wound up. Not only do I get wound up, honestly, I get pretty scared. Because what's going to come after this? I did a whole bunch of research and found that 48% of women who are killed in domestic violence situations was not with a gun. Blunt force trauma, strangulation, poison. So when they take these guns away, saying, wow, we're taking them on the hand of domestic violence abuser, we're taking on the hand of this person, that person, and when it doesn't work, then what? What are we going to do next? How far are we going to go with thought police? Seriously, how far are we going to go with this? Is it going to be that anyone could just make an accusation and now everyone's scared to death to say anything or do anything because someone's going to make an accusation against them, and wow, here they come to take your guns, your knives, your car. Where are we going to draw the line on what we're going to take from American citizens, and how far are we going to destroy their rights? How far down this rabbit hole are we going to go? We're going to completely trample all over the Fourth Amendment. We're going to trample all over the Fifth Amendment. Again, that's all talking about due process. We're going to trample all over the 14th Amendment. And the other thing people don't seem to understand, and I've tried to explain it to them, is ex parte. Every single red flag bill is ex parte. That means they don't get their day in court. That's what it means. That means they don't get due process. People seem to think, well, it's okay because we have to get these guns out of the hands of, let's say, someone suicidal. We have bills for those already. We have laws. It's 5150, the 72-hour hold. If somebody's crazy enough that you believe that they're going to kill themselves, we're going to take their guns, you can just do a 5150 hold and get them the mental health that they need. We need to get, the other one, we need to get the guns out of the hands of crazy people. Okay. What if we get rid of every single gun and they start running people over? Or they start stabbing people or making bombs or doing whatever. They're still killing people. Now what? The ultimate question is, how do we keep people from killing? How do we keep criminals from doing crime? How do we keep crazy people from killing? That's the real question. Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody. Every politician wants to talk about, we need to take the gun. We got to do something. Oh my God, we got to take the gun. A red flag bill sounds great. You get due process. No, you don't get due process. Period. End of story. I gotta keep taking deep breaths because I get so wound up about this. The other thing people don't seem to understand is red flag bill is civil. Well, at least it starts until you violate that and it becomes a crime, but it's civil. So there is no guilty, we really think this person is guilty, 51% guilty. It's not that, it's just probable cause. Someone makes accusation. Someone sent a text. Somebody did something. I don't know where we're going with this. I do know one thing. It's a beautiful sunset outside. I don't know where we're going with this. I don't know how far we're going to go before we just start taking rights away from everybody, because everyone seems to be okay. I won't say everyone. Let me take that back. Seems like most of the politicians nowadays, and Republicans are jumping on board with this as well, and they need to stop. They seem to think it's okay to take the guns away and give due process later. And that's not... It's not how it works. It's very disappointing, and it's extremely scary. And honestly, I'm just going to say it. I really do feel like I'm living in pre-Nazi Germany. Before you know it, we're going to make the police a Gestapo. They're going to determine whether they're going to take their guns from you. We're going to make our neighbors snitch on each other. We're going to make people telling each other. Because it's the right thing to do. Because that's what our government wants us to do. That's what we've been brainwashed into doing. Because guns are bad, and anyone that owns a gun is bad. And if you don't buy into our rhetoric of guns are bad, then you're a bad person, and we're going to put you on some sort of list somewhere. So, I'm begging you to please explain to your friends what due process is. Due process is the guarantee that a party will receive a fundamentally fair, orderly, and just judicial proceeding. Before. Not after. Before. If they're so damn worried about, we need to take the guns away from somebody, if you think they're that crazy, then take them and lock them up. I mean, if you're that crazy, lock them up and do an evaluation on them. And at the end of that time, if they determine, hey, this person really is suicidal, we need to help them. Okay, they've been evaluated, they've been taken in, there's some evidence to this. The problem is the government takes the guns and then you have to go to court to get them back. And that's the part that's really not fair. Because if you're accused unjustly, you got to pay $15,000 to $25,000 to prove that you're innocent. It's a slippery slope. So I'm going to ask you, please, please, please make calls. Call your congressman, insist that they oppose all three of these: HR 1236 red flag bill, HR 1186 national ammo ban, and the HR 2708 lifetime firearm possession ban. They're infringing on our rights all over the place. They're squashing the Bill of Rights. And if you don't stop them from chipping away, what do you think it's going to be like 5 years from now? What rights are we going to have left? It's becoming very Orwellian, very much thought police, very much turn your neighbor in. And I think our founding fathers are probably rolling in their graves, seeing what's going on right now. So insist. I don't care who it is. I don't care. We have Vice President Pence, who's on board with red flag bills. Tell him no. I don't care. You need to stay on top of these people. You need to let Trump know. You need to call the White House. You need to let every politician that you can get a hold of, and you need to start explaining to your friends, and you need to start talking about this, because they're going to pass this stuff. I know everyone is debating on me. They don't think Trump will sign it. Okay, what if he does? Or what if he doesn't win? What are you going to do then? When are you going to stand up? And even if you don't like guns, you should be against this for the fact that there is no due process because you don't get your fair trial before they take your possessions. So that's all I have to say for today. I'm going to take a few more deep breaths, maybe do some yoga or something, trying to mellow out. But please, talk to your friends, talk to your family, and start making calls. And that's all I got. If you have questions, I'm going to post all about Red Flag Bill on progunwomen.org and on my Progun Women Facebook. So you can look for those definitions there. All right? Have a good rest of the week. And if you're going to see Trump, look for me. I'm going to have I'll be wearing the pro-gun women shirt, and I'm going to go around collecting signatures to send to Trump to let him know that his people, we don't want red flag bill. Just a reminder, even though the Department of Justice and other people are whispering in his ear to go forward with it, that's not what we want. So look for me at the Trump rally, and I'll talk to y'all later.